Hey, what's going on, friends? It is Slash687 here, back at it again with another PC build guide for you today. Before I get into today's video, I'd just like to tell you all, in case you don't know, the Pascal series GPUs are being announced by Nvidia tomorrow, Friday, the 6th. So all the parts, well, I mean, the GPU in this video is subject to change after the announcement of the Pascal series, because chances are it's going to be a lot better for the money than the GPU that you see in this video today. So of course everything is subject to change after the Pascal series gets announced. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. A $700 gaming PC. Starting off with the CPU, we have the Intel Core i5-6500. It's a 3.2 GHz quad-core CPU based on the Skylake architecture, which is the newest architecture from Intel. It's a very capable, very good CPU, one of the best for the money, I'd say right now. It turbos up to 3.6 GHz. It's a quad-core CPU that only pulls 65 watts of power, very power efficient, and gonna be very good for overclocking if you would like to do that, but I would recommend getting some upgraded cooling if you're looking to overclock this thing, but it definitely is very possible to overclock these i5-6500s. Next up, the motherboard. I went with the MSI H110M Pro D Micro ATX Socket 1151 motherboard. It's based on the Socket 1151, which is what we need to support our CPU. It supports 2 sticks of memory up to 32 gigabytes, so we're gonna do just fine with our 8 gigs that we're gonna be having in this build. It does not support SLI, but it does have 4 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, and it does have USB 3.0 headers. It is pretty bare minimum as far as the motherboard goes, but it's gonna fit all of our parts, and it's gonna do just fine for a cheap PC like this. It's not gonna have a ton of upgrading options in the future, but for now it's gonna do fine, and it's gonna work in this build, so you can't go wrong at only $48. Next up, the RAM. I went with a Crucial 8 GB kit. It comes in 2 4 GB sticks of DDR4 2133 MHz memory. It's very generic, no fancy heat spreaders to be seen here. Very plain, very low key. It does come in 2 sticks, so you can take advantage of dual channel memory. There's not really a lot to say here. It's DDR4, it's very fast, it's gonna get the job done. 8 gigs is a good amount in a budget like this, so you're gonna do just fine as far as gaming's concerned with 8 gigs of Crucial DDR4. Next up, for the storage, I went with the Seagate Barracuda 1TB 3.5-inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive. It's getting to the point now where I would say 2 terabytes is really desirable. It's a lot better for the money. You get a lot more storage for the money. I think a 2 terabyte hard drive is only like $67 right now. So as far as storage goes, 1 terabyte is not that desirable. It doesn't store nearly as much as it used to, but it's $46. It fits into the build, but like I said, if you can afford to go for 2 terabytes, if you can spend the extra $20 to get 1 extra terabyte, I would highly recommend it. It'll help you out a lot down the line, and if you can afford it, if you can fit it into your build, if you're planning to build this, I would recommend going for a 2 terabyte, but we could fit 1 terabyte into the budget, so that's what I went with. Seagate's a very good brand and makes very reliable hard drives, so as far as that's concerned, you can't go wrong with a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte hard drive. Next up, the most important part of a gaming PC, the GPU. I went with the Evga Geforce GTX 970. It's 4 gigabytes of VRAM, superclocked, with the ACX 2.0 cooler on it. It is the superclocked version, so you're gonna get a few hundred extra megahertz on the core clock. It's gonna run very cool, very well, since it does have that ACX cooler on it. The ACX cooler is one of the best coolers on any kind of GPU you can get. Made by EVGA, they're very reliable. I hear that they have very good customer service, so in the event that anything does go wrong with this 970, you should be fine as far as returns go. EVGA is very good manufacturer of these GPUs, and for only $305, you can't go wrong with this GPU right here. I highly recommend it if you're in this type of budget. For the case, I went with a Corsair 200R ATX mid-tower case. It's pretty much just the case I always go with. It has USB 3.0 headers, it supports everything we could possibly need, has great cable management, great airflow, looks pretty nice. It's only $50, so for a mid-tower case, you can't go wrong with the Corsair 200R. It's just gonna get everything that we possibly need it to do done. Lastly, the power supply. I went with the EVGA 500 watt 80 plus certified ATX power supply. Pretty much, it's only $28. It's an 80 plus certified power supply, 500 watts, made by EVGA. They're a very reputable brand for power supplies. It's very cheap, pretty much the cheapest 500 watt power supply you can get that's from a reputable brand. So I just went with it, only $28. It's gonna fit in the build fine. And our total comes to $704. If that extra $4 really makes you that upset, I can cover it for you. Just send me an email and I'll have that payment shipped directly to you by a carrier pigeon. And I mean, it's just what I'm doing to help you out. I mean, you're welcome. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to leave a comment if you have any questions, and the beautiful young men and women in the Slash Think Tank will help you out. Be sure to join the Slash Think Tank if you're interested in helping people solve their problems, and if you're interested in giving every single man and woman a gaming PC of their own. So be sure to click that subscribe button, guys. Be sure to leave a like. Be sure to comment. I'll see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.